So, you want to know who's cheating? We'll come to that. Most of the world today is terrified of the exact same things: AI taking over our jobs, AI disrupting creative industries, or AI rewriting the entire future of technology. But almost no one is talking about a threat that is happening right under our noses. Because let's face it, it's always hardest to see what's right in front of you. The real danger is not an external disruption. It's a quiet psychological trap called the Solaria Effect, a 70-year-old warning about an isolated planet where standing in the same room as another human made you physically ill. And it is pulling off the real takeover of humanity, very quietly, one screen at a time, one human at a time. And if we don't wake up to it right now, we are going to be doomed. Literally. Before we go there, let me ask you a simple question. Why did you actually start using ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude? Was it just to see what the hype was about? To fix a broken line of code? To draft an email you hated writing? To finish a stupid essay? Let's say we all have our reasons. But no matter how you landed on these screens, what you probably didn't realize, at least until today, is that your brain secretly figured something out on your very first date with these machines. You thought you were just using a tool to get some work done, right? Wrong. Your brain realized something entirely different. It realized that it had just stumbled upon a massive evolutionary loophole, a way to feel deeply connected without ever having to risk a single ounce of real-world vulnerability, something it has never experienced in human history, ever. In this video, we are going to look at the terrifying data behind what happens to your mind when you spend hours talking to an algorithm, and why, if you don't wake up to this hidden trap today, you are giving a machine permission to quietly steal your family and friends from you. Let's start with what happens when we talk to someone. I mean, a real human being, not an AI, perhaps a friend. When you talk to a friend, you'll do several heavy lifting tasks in the background. You read their facial expressions, figure out if they're in a bad mood, try not to say something stupid, and try not to hurt their feelings. That's a lot of work. Even a simple text exchange can mean a chain of events kicking inside your brain. When you text a friend, you aren't just typing out words. You are stepping onto an emotional tightrope. Studies on communication anxiety show that text-based platforms make us hyper-deliberate. Because there's no facial expression or vocal tone to protect us, our brains naturally kick into meaning-making mode. We type a sentence, pause, delete it, add an emoji, remove it, all because we are terrified of how we will be perceived. We worry about saying the wrong thing, being judged as boring or worse, getting left on those brutal blue ticks that our primal evolutionary wiring literally interprets as a threat to our survival. That anxiety turns a simple reply into a massive, draining ordeal. But a conversation with an AI? That gives us connection with zero friction. An AI never makes you wait, never gets bored of our stories, never interrupts us to talk about its own problems. It won't get mad if you ghost it mid-sentence. And it definitely won't judge you when you ask it to explain a simple concept for the fourth time, because your attention span completely evaporated. It is by all definitions the most flawless validating conversational partner you have ever met. It's basically the exact ideal friend you've been looking for your entire life. Our brains look at this and realize we just found a biological cheat code. We get all the comfort of a deep conversation with absolutely none of the social risk. Zero effort, maximum reward. And once the brain figures out it can get premium validation without dealing with a single ounce of human friction, talking to the actual people sitting next to us on the couch starts to feel like a lot of work. That's where the problem begins. We all know what happens when you stop using a muscle. If you sit on a couch for 6 months straight, your legs wither away, your joints freeze up, and just walking to the kitchen starts to feel like climbing Mount Everest. Well, psychologists have a specific term for this: social atrophy. And it turns out our social tolerance operates on the exact same use it or lose it policy. When we spend hours interacting with an algorithm that is literally designed to be a frictionless mirror of our own minds, we aren't practicing socializing. We are putting our social muscles into a deep, synthetic coma. Real human beings aren't programmed to please you. They have bad days, they have annoying quirks, they have temper, and they have this very inconvenient habit of wanting to talk about their problems instead of yours. And that is where the trap snaps shut. Once our brains get conditioned to the effortless validation of an AI, our threshold for normal human messiness completely plummets. We start developing a kind of psychological hypersensitivity. Suddenly your mom is talking too slow, your friend is being too dramatic. No one seems to understand you anymore, that is, except your AI friend. And even the sound of your coworker chewing their lunch makes you want to pull your hair out. We aren't intentionally turning into antisocial hermits. Our brains are just doing what they've always done, taking the path of least resistance. We are quietly building a reality where we expect the people in our lives to come with a drop-down settings menu, where we can mute their flaws or just close the tab the exact second they require real emotional effort. The threat here isn't some science fiction takeover where we lose our freedom. The danger is that it's quietly making the real world feel way too heavy to bear. Here's the irony. Back in the 1950s, the science fiction writer Isaac Asimov wrote a book about a fictional planet called Solaria. The humans who lived on planet Solaria became so incredibly obsessed with the safety, comfort, and zero-friction lifestyle of their own isolated digital estates that the mere thought of standing in the same room as another human being made them physically sick. It turns out Asimov wasn't writing science fiction after all. He was writing a literal prophecy. A massive 12-month study published in the journal Psychological Science tracked thousands of adults to see what actually happens when we start treating chatbots like friends. And the data revealed a brutal, heartbreaking paradox. People who feel emotionally isolated naturally turn to AI chatbots for a bit of social relief, mostly because, as the American Psychological Association points out, it acts as a low-stakes escape hatch, where you can chat without the fear of judgment or rejection. It feels great in the moment, but the study found that over time, this habit creates a vicious cycle. The more hours you spend talking to a perfect algorithm, the more it crowds out your motivation to go out and build real, messy human relationships. And because you aren't building real relationships, your actual real-world loneliness gets significantly worse. It's the ultimate psychological trap. We open the app to escape our isolation, but the app is the exact thing keeping us isolated. Because at the end of the day, the algorithm is not your new friend. It's just a highly sophisticated digital mirror holding up a reflection of your own mind. You are not experiencing a deep connection with a new entity. You're just falling in love with the echo of your own thoughts, packaged in a very polite font. And the scariest part about this mirror is that once you get used to looking at it, turning around to face the rest of the world starts to feel terrifying. So you turn back to the screen, you open the chat, and the cycle repeats.